Hi there, Emily.
Hello.
Hey. And so Emily's our head of marketing, but also one of our team that spends much of her time researching AI, researching ChatGPT, and we ChatGPT is an amazing tool, as you know. It saves so much time that we spend a full day every single week. That's me, Emily, Gabby, and we're only a team of 5, and 4 of us spend one day a week doing nothing but researching ChatGPT because the impact it's having on our business is extraordinary. So, are you ready, Emily?
Yes.
Great. This is going to be fast paced because we're going to be talking about marketing, how to use ChatGPT for marketing. Marketing is one of the things that ChatGPT is particularly good at. It's one of the things that, in general, a lot of us in the accounting profession aren't so good at or don't have the time to do it. And the great news is ChatGPT is awesome at it and will save you huge amounts of time. So, Emily, how many topics are we going to cover today?
Well, I think it's 7.
Yeah, I think it's 7 as well. So we're going to try and get through all 7. We're going to be doing some practical stuff. We'll show you a few things inside ChatGPT as well as going through 7 areas. So let's go into the first thing that we need to start with marketing. Actually, no, I've missed something, haven't I, Emily? You were going to give some latest news on something. Normally, we start with latest news, and we've got so much content. We thought we'd keep that short. But Emily, you had one thing just to tell people about.
Yeah, I'll just keep it very brief. But if anybody uses Zoom regularly, which quite a lot of people do since all of the pandemic and stuff, they have released some AI updates. So you'll need to go into your settings and enable them. But essentially, in meetings, you can now get an AI companion to answer questions. It will do smart recordings and put chapters on those so that you can quickly go back through your recordings. You can get a meeting summary as well. And if you use the team chat and the email functions, you can also get help with composing your emails and your chats and things like that as well. So if you're using Zoom a lot, then it might be worth checking that out and going and enabling those features.
Great, thanks for that update, Emily. So let's talk about marketing. And let's start with number 1. The first thing we need to do with marketing is we need to have a marketing strategy. And there are lots of things we can use ChatGPT to help us with marketing. So one of the things that we should have in our firms is a marketing plan. So Emily, how can it help us with a marketing plan?
ChatGPT, okay, so it can help you to get more clarity really on your plan. You can ask it for help on developing key areas, who your target audience is, what kind of goals that you want to hit. You can help it to use it to help break down those goals into more defined actionable steps and things like that. So lots of different ways you can do that. You can also then get it to help you plan your kind of calendar, your yearly calendar of when you're going to do all of those steps as well, and get it to help with scheduling and different kind of the tasks that you're going to work on, and just get it to help flesh out and get some more clarity on all of those different areas as well.
Absolutely. So when we teach marketing strategy in our Value Pricing Academy, I break it down into three core steps. And the first one you've touched on, Emily, is you must have a real clear idea of who is your ideal client. The mistake that many of us make, and I made this when I started my accounting firm back in 1996, is thinking that we need to have everybody as clients. We just take on anybody. And then we soon find that we're working crazy busy. We've got a practice full of clients who are D clients, the ones that are always moaning, whinging, complaining about the price, and so on. And it's not about building a successful firm is not about having lots of clients. It's about having the right clients. And so we need to be clear on that. And ChatGPT can help us create the ideal client personas. And the other thing it can then do is, once we've then done that, once we've got our ideal clients, the second thing that we want to then do is figure out what are their particular challenges in their business. What are their challenges? What are their fears? What keeps them awake at night? What do they worry about? What are the things they want? What are they looking for? Are they looking for a more profitable business? What are their wants? And what are their aspirations or their dreams? And one of the great things about ChatGPT is it can help you create all of that. It can create those personas. Why is that important? Well, if you can start to, with the help of ChatGPT, figure out what those things are, they're the words you're going to use in all of your marketing. You're going to, when you understand your clients and you understand their problems, their challenges, their wants, their fears, their aspirations, and you can articulate that in writing, then all of your marketing will speak to them, their needs, their wants. As ChatGPT is great for creating personas. So final quick thing on marketing, just quickly, Emily, is we are going to go into ChatGPT, by the way, later with some of the other things, but this is really setting the scene. And one of the things that people need to think about when they're building up their marketing foundations in their firm is there are lots of software tools they can use to help them. So give us a quick rundown, Emily, of some of the software tools.
Yeah, so you can use ChatGPT to help you do the research on this, but essentially all of the tools across your business that you're going to need to help you with marketing. So things like the email system that you have, or it's called a CRM for customer relationship management, a social media scheduling tool. You know, if you want help to batch all of that content and send all of that out in advance, various other things like if you're doing design things, if you're building web pages, all these different kind of areas that you're going to need the software for. If you're not sure where to start, then you can ask ChatGPT to help do some research on those areas and find the best tool that's most appropriate and suitable for you in your business.
Absolutely. So that's marketing strategy, a few thoughts on that and how we can use pretty much for everything about your strategy, building your plan, creating an ideal client profile. You can use ChatGPT. It's great for doing that. Then the next thing to think about is, as part of your strategy, one of the things that you want to do is position yourself as the expert. We call it expert positioning because people want to work with the best. They want to work with the best accountant, the best bookkeeper. So you want to position yourself as the best in your area. And one of the ways that we do that is by creating content. It's called content marketing. Content marketing is so powerful. And it's something we've been teaching for many, many years. The problem with content marketing is, particularly if you're not a writer and don't like writing, it can be quite time consuming. The great news is that ChatGPT is really good with content marketing. It's so helpful. So when we think of content marketing, it's about creating things like perhaps an ebook, because if you're an author, or even a real book, not just an ebook, if you're an author, people will see you as being the expert. But you don't have to necessarily write books. It could be creating blog posts, regularly publishing blog posts. It could be using social media to post great stuff. What else could it be, Emily? Give a couple more examples of content.
Yeah, so a couple more is obviously those are the written ones, but if you are making things like video content or podcast content, you can get help with the scripts for those. If you're making ads, then you can go and use it for that as well. There's tons of different ways you can use it. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's go across. I'm just going to quickly for 4 or 5 minutes go across and show you the sorts of things that you might want to do using ChatGPT for helping you create content. So if we're thinking about blog posts, if I just go across right now, that's not ChatGPT, that's YouTube. Okay, I'm in ChatGPT now. For those of you who have never used ChatGPT, you will find all your chats on the left-hand side, but you can now hide them, which I've done just to make it a bit clearer. So this is one that I actually used in a training video a few months ago. Usually I do these live and I put the prompts in straight away, but we've got so much to cover today. We're going to go through some that they've already got. So it may be that if you're looking to create some blog posts, you might want to say something like, I run an accounting firm and my ideal clients are small businesses in the construction, tradespeople and engineering sectors. I want you to help me create a series of blog posts, provide 6 blog post ideas that will appeal to my ideal client about and then subject. Now, when you are creating your prompts, we talk about prompt engineering in other live streams and other sessions, so we won't talk much about prompt engineering now, but the way that you craft your prompts is so important. There are certain things that you want to do. And this isn't a perfect prompt, but it's a great starting point. Some of the things you want to do is when you are asking it to, in this case, use some ideas for blog posts, let it know who is your ideal client. So in this case, it may be that your ideal client is small businesses in the construction, tradespeople, and engineering sectors. So all you would do is you could take that prompt and just switch it out for who is your ideal client. I've told it to give me 6 blog post ideas, but you can change that. You can change the number. You can have 10 ideas, 50 ideas, whatever you want. And also, it's a good idea to tell it, what do you want the subject to be? What sort of blog post? Is it about, do you want to do some blogs around tax planning, around marketing for business owners, whatever it might well be. So I've got for this one, how to grow their business in these tough, that should be tough, spelling mistake there, but I know that ChatGPT sometimes understands that and corrects it, in these tough times. And just a little thing, you'll see I've put this in curly brackets and then put the subject underneath. It's a little tip you can do is you can create your own little prompt library where you can use the same prompt over and over again. And then just, if you want to then do this again 6 months later, it's the same prompt, you just change the subject here. So let's just quickly see what it is suggesting. So we could have, for example, a blog post on navigating economic challenges, strategies for small businesses in construction, trades and engineering, because you've told it who your ideal client is, and it's given you a bit of an overview of what the blog post might be about. It's given us, it can't count, by the way, this time. It's given us all number ones, but there are 6 of them. I did count them. So some great ones here. For example, strengthening client relationships, keys to sustaining growth in the construction, trades and engineering industries. So there's given some ideas there. If you like them, that's great. If you don't, you can hit the regenerate button and it'll come up with 6 more ideas. So that's one way that you can use it for content creation. You can use it to come up with ideas for coming up with content. And then when you've got your ideas, you can then use ChatGPT to then help you write them. So you could ask it, you could ask it for, let's say you like number 3, you could say for blog post idea number 3, please provide me with an outline for the blog. So it will give you an outline of what you might say. So if you're doing effective marketing strategies for small construction, trades and engineering businesses in a sluggish economy, it's now suggesting that when you write the blog, you'll have an introduction. You might talk a bit about online presence and leveraging digital marketing, and it's giving you some bullet points of what to say in your blog posts. And then you might talk about targeted outreach, networking and referrals, and so on. So it can give you the full outline, the bullet points, and then if you want, you can get it to even write the content for you. So that brings me on to another point about content. When you are writing content, one of the things when you are crafting your prompts is you will want it to write in a style of writing that you're comfortable with. So I didn't put it in that particular post there, but you might want to tell it what your writing style is. And you could do that using things like, I want you to write my blog post in a conversational style, in a professional style. So you could use words like that. Or if you're at a more advanced level, you could start to train it, and I've talked about this before, how you can train it in your writing style by giving an example of something that you've written and asking it to summarize it, and then you can use that summary at the start of future chats to say, this is my writing style. Or number 3, even better still, and if I go back to here, and we're not covering it today, but Emily and I did a session. The last live stream was our top 10 features inside ChatGPT. If you were there, you may remember that our favorite feature, and there's lots of great features, our favorite feature is, which is now available in the free version as well as the paid for version, is, if you click on the 3 dots at the bottom, you can unlock custom instructions. And what custom instructions allows you to do is to tell ChatGPT something about you and something about your written formats, your writing style, for example, that it will then remember and use in every new chat. Now, I'm not going through custom instructions now because that's for another day, but this is my custom instructions that I've used to make sure the output, the content, is in a format that I am comfortable with. It's my writing style. Okay. So that's content marketing. And there's so many, we could spend a long time talking about content marketing because there's so much stuff we could get it to do. But in a nutshell, it's great at helping you write that content. You can create ebooks, for example, extremely fast. Okay, anything you want to add to that, Emily, before we go on to number 3?
No, let's just go straight on to number 3.
Okay, we'll do that because we are bang on time. We are bang on time to get through all these 7. So it's great for positioning as the expert for content. The next thing in marketing that you'll want to think about is you've probably got a website. If you haven't, you should have a website. We know we should have a website. And I know, Emily, you recently did a session. No, it's coming up this month, I think. When are you teaching to Academy members website?
It's coming up this month, yeah.
It is. It's coming up this month in a couple of weeks, I think. Yeah. I forget exactly when. Anyway, yeah, Emily's going to be teaching. If you're in the Value Pricing Academy or the Bookkeepers Pricing Academy, Emily's going to be teaching you how to build a great website. But one of the things we can do is we can use ChatGPT to help us critique our websites or even build a brand new website. So I'm going to hand over to Emily. She's going to talk more about that because she's got some real expertise in creating great websites, particularly with ChatGPT.
Yeah, okay, so some great things that you can get ChatGPT to help you with your website is, first of all, helping write the wording. We call it copy, which is just any kind of wording to do with any of your marketing. So it can help you write all of the copy for your website, and that includes things like the buttons on there, that the menu bar that you have across the top, all of that sort of stuff. You can also ask it questions about the layout. How do I want to lay out my website? Where should I put things? And also you can use it for that research element as well, of finding the best kind of software tools to use, finding the best place to host your website, and break down as well the step-by-step how to actually go about doing it and designing your website. So I'm going to just quickly switch over to my screen share and we'll show you just a couple of examples then of what you can ask it to help you with in terms of writing your website copy and other such things. So the first prompt I put in here, can you build a business website for an accounting firm that is based in the UK and specializes in business advisory for the animal industry? So I have a dog, so I often go for this animal industry kind of style. Make sure to include calls to action, which is the buttons and the things that you want them to take action on. Make sure to include calls to action to achieve the best conversion. We use value pricing as taught by Mark Wickersham, so include this in the copy. So that's a pretty basic prompt. You can, of course, go a lot more detailed. You can give it more information about your business and the things that you want it to include. If you want to specifically have a page where you have a home page and then an about me page and a page with your services and whatever else it might be, then you can give it much more information and detail. But what it's done for me is it's given me quite a thorough breakdown of how I might then go about kind of laying out the website. So it's given me some options for the wording. So we've got here, first of all, we've got the home page, and you'll want a header with the logo and the navigation menu, and it's given us a couple of options here. We've got home, services, about us, testimonials, and a contact page. And then it's giving me kind of the layout in here as well. So we want to start with a hero section, which has got a high quality image. And because I've said that this is an animal business, it suggests an image of a business meeting with animals in the background. So it's giving you a bit of an idea of the themes you might use there as well. It's given me a headline, expert business advisory for the animal industry. So that immediately targets my ideal client and tells them what we specialize in, which is business advisory. And then the subhead as well, specialized accounting solutions tailored for your business. So it's given me some wording and also a bit of the layout in there as well, in the way that it's told me. And then we have the call to action here as well, which it does say here, get a free consultation, and we would teach a different way of doing that. We wouldn't really recommend putting that specifically on your website, but that's what it's given us just as its standard answer. It's then put a bit in here about value pricing, because I mentioned in my prompt that we use value pricing, so it's added a little section about that. We've got the service page next, and it gives me a list of potential services that I might include on here. And if I wanted to, I could then have another prompt that goes into these in more detail and says, can you now write me the copy for page 2, the service page? And I can get it to do much more work on that. But it's given me a brief description of each service, that's what I should put on the page. And then the call to action can be to schedule a meeting. So we've got an About Us page as well. Gives me a bit of an idea of what to put on there, a brief history of the firm, includes some profiles, some pictures of my team, and also a call to action would be to join the team if you're hiring. So we've got a slightly different call to action on each page here as well. We've got a testimonials page, which is a great thing to do, gives good social proof and shows that you've got real stories from real people that you've managed to help. And we've got a contact page as well. It gives you some ideas of what to put on that page, and then a footer as well. Then it's also given me some sample copy that I might put on the homepage as well. So I won't go through that, but it's just given me kind of the first paragraph that I might put right up at the top of my website. And that's all come from quite a simple prompt. So you can get a lot of information there. What I've then done is I've gone and asked it a few more questions. So earlier I mentioned that you can use ChatGPT to help you research those best software tools that you might like to use. So here I've asked it, can you create a table with the top 5 website building tools, highlighting their standout features, the price, and how easy they are to use. So if you have different criteria, maybe you're using a different piece of software already and you say, you need to add that to the prompt and say, it needs to work in conjunction with this particular software as well. Maybe you want something that directly connects with, you've got an e-commerce site or anything like that. And then you want to connect it with Shopify and things like that. Then just add that to your prompt. But what I've done here is I'm actually using the plugins feature. So I'm using Link Reader here, and I also have web requests activated on this conversation. So what it's done is it's gone and researched the top 5 website building tools, and it's given me a rundown here of what the best features are, the prices. Now, it has told me that they all vary based on the plans, which isn't very helpful. So I might want to do a bit more further research myself. But it has given me a bit of a breakdown, and it's told me a couple of the top 5 that I can then go and do further research myself if I want to. So a couple of tools it's found for me. And then what I want to also look at is a guide. So I've said, can you please give me a detailed guide on how to set up this website from scratch? And it's given me step-by-step instructions. I said, I'll choose Wix from that list, and it's given me some instructions there. You can also, if you want to, ask for the things that you might include on your website. So the top 10 features, and it's given me some great ideas of things I want to include. Make sure it's mobile optimized, make sure it loads fast, make sure it's got engaging visuals, all of these kind of things. I can then make sure to include all of those in my website. And it's given me some bonus tips here as well of having some live chatbots and also updating regularly and making sure the navigation's easy. I asked it to create a sitemap, which you might be interested in if you need to improve the SEO. So you can see here that it's built a sitemap for me, which essentially is just telling me what is on each page. So you can see that it's made some great code there. And then I've also just asked it to suggest the potential layout. So that first prompt that I did gave me quite a good layout, but I can ask it for more specific advice here. And it's saying, put the logo in the top left corner, put the navigation to the top right, put the contact button, make sure it's prominent and next to the navigation menu. It's given me some image ideas and all of this sort of stuff. So loads of different things that you can potentially do to ask for help. Of course, you can also ask for copy. That's kind of the main thing that you might want to ask for help here is write me the copy for each of those pages that it gave you the advice for. But that's a bit of an overview of all of the kind of different ways. I'll switch back there so that you can get it to help you with your website.
Great. Thank you, Emily. I'm conscious of time. We might have to do the next 2 in a bit quicker together. So much stuff we've got to cover, and I can see we've got a couple of questions coming as well, which we'll deal with at the end. Just very quickly on websites before we start the next one is if you are in the Value Pricing Academy or the Bookkeepers Pricing Academy, Emily is doing a session, remember, on our Marketing Monday, a week on Monday. And also, I don't know if Emily, you remembered this, but we did say that you, as part of that session, might critique a few people's websites and perhaps even use ChatGPT to reword a few. So if you are in the Value Pricing Academy or the Bookkeepers Pricing Academy and you would like Emily to critique your website, then either send your website URL to Sarah, or you can put it in the comments, and we will do that as part of the session. Okay, list building next. Number 4. We'll do 4 and 5 together. But list building and email marketing come hand in hand. One of the things we want to do is, as we use our content, create great content, we want to use that to position ourselves as experts, but also we want to use it to build up our list. And so we need a lead generation system. And I will pass over to Emily again so she can talk through what are the key components, Emily, of a lead generation system. And then I think you might have a few things to show, and then that'll go nicely into, naturally, email marketing, because that's part of the lead generation system, as you will soon see.
Yeah. Okay. So a very brief kind of rundown of what your list building sort of system is going to look like. There's 4 key components. So first of all, you're going to want a piece of content that you can give away for free in exchange for somebody's name and email address. That's something we call a lead magnet. So ChatGPT can help us write that. It's something like an ebook or a checklist, or perhaps even a webinar. So ChatGPT can help us with the scripts for that. Then the next part of that is also the page that they land on to put their name and email address into. You can get help to create that page in the same way that we've just looked at with the website. We can get it to write copy and things like that for the web page and give us design ideas as well. And then another element is the emails, which ties in nicely with our other section, which is on email marketing. And that's when somebody signs in and puts their name and email address in, they'll receive an email that delivers that piece of content and then goes on to further market and deliver value as well. And then right up at the front of that the whole system, you'll need ways of getting people to that page. So that's ways of doing traffic. So that's going to be your social media marketing, your blogs and content and things like that. You can put it on your website, and also writing things like ads as well. So you can get ChatGPT to help with all elements of that system. And I'm going to very quickly go over a conversation that I had and show you a couple of examples. So again, I'm going with the pet industry. I wish I had more time to go through, because some of the stuff that it's written in here is really brilliant. But suggest 3 different potential types of content I could create as a lead magnet to give out in exchange for a name and email address. My business is an accounting firm that specializes in business advisory for the pet industry. Explain why each would be a powerful lead magnet and recommend to me which option would get the most conversions. So I do recommend that you do your own research into what your ideal client would want to see in that content. You know, what's going to answer their burning questions, what's going to solve their pain and help them out. You'll want to do your own research and use ChatGPT to help with that research as well, of what potential things, what potential content would be useful for them. But we've also asked for what content style to go for here. So we've got here the examples of an ebook, a webinar, and a checklist. Now, an ebook is really, really powerful for building your expertise and positioning that we talked about earlier. And a webinar probably goes a step further than that, because you've got the visual element of you on video. But for this particular example, we're going to go and look at the checklist, because it's quite an easy, quick one to get it to make. But what it's done is it's given me a reason why each one is powerful, and a recommendation of the content in here as well. So the checklist that it's done here for me is a year-end tax planning for pet entrepreneurs. So I would then ask it another prompt that says, can you create that checklist for me? And I've given it a bit more detail. It should fit neatly onto one page, because I want to deliver this as a one-page resource. Include a brief introduction, and I've asked it to write in a fun and friendly tone. You can change that to something more professional or whatever, lighthearted, whatever it might be that you want to write it in. And then add a call to action at the end as well, so that when people get this resource, we've got a next step planned in for them, which might be to book an appointment with you, or get your help by using your services to help go through this checklist with them. Okay, so here's what it's come up with. We've got you can see that the language is very fun. So we've got, hey there, fellow animal lovers, as the year wraps up, amidst all the wagging tails and purring friends, it's time to get our financial ducks, or should we say pups, in a row. So you can see how it's quite funny, and you can change the tone to something more professional if that's not your style. And here we've got the checklist that it's done for me as well. So I can just have a look at that, see if that's something that I agree with, add anything that I think I need to add as well. If there's things that you think are missing or that aren't appropriate, then you can edit it. You know, always take this as the first kind of starting point and then work from that. And then you can turn that into your own resource. So we've got it can create the resource for you. Now we can ask it to do the landing page copy, and it's gone and done the wording for me that I can put on my page there as well. And I can ask it for different headlines, and that's what it's done for me. You know, I can ask it for different names for that checklist as well. Again, I can suggest the layout and the design for this landing page. And then also what I want to ask, you know, going into that other section of the emails, is I now want it to also write an autoresponder email. So that's just an email that goes out automatically once somebody signs up for your checklist. And I want it to go out to people that when they opt in to download this checklist, it should deliver the resource, reiterate the benefits of using it, and offer support through contacting us as well, and a call to action. So I've given it some information of what I want to include in the email, and then it's gone and written that email for me as well. And the language is following that same theme of it being quite funny, and uses a lot of animal related puns and things in there as well. So again, if that's not your style, then you can just change it, but it's giving us a great little email there as well. And that's something that you can expand on. You can get it to then write follow emails and do a lot more stuff in there as well. So I'll change back now. I wish we had more time to go over it all because there's so much to do, but that's a quick overview for you.
Thank you, Emily. Yes, there is so much stuff to do. So that's number 5. There is a lot. Marketing is a big topic, but the great news is ChatGPT makes it very, very easy, as you can probably see already. And Emily and I do, for those of you in the academy, we do a 90-minute training session. It's either Emily or me each month on marketing. And increasingly, we are showing you how to speed up your marketing with ChatGPT. So all that stuff that Emily's gone through very quickly, we do 90-minute sessions on that if you are in the academy. Okay, let's just quickly summarize where we've got to, and then I'll deal with number 6 on the list. So we've started with, wrong button, we started with strategy, the big picture. We have to get the strategy right. Then we've looked at how can we position ourselves as the expert and attract the right clients, the best clients through content marketing. We've talked about how you can have a great website, how we can use it as part of a lead generation system, and how we can then also, off the back of that, once we've got their email address, send out a series of great emails to warm them up so that they eventually book a meeting with you. And so they're all the key elements you need in your marketing. But the next 2 things, the final 2 things, are things that you can do to make it all work much, much better. And so number 6 is copywriting. That's the words. Words are so important when it comes to marketing. We have to use the right words that will get a result. And copywriting is a very skilled job. In fact, copywriters are some of the most highly paid professionals. Some copywriters will charge 6-figure sums to write a piece of copy. So copywriting is very skilled. However, the great news is you now have access to all the best copywriters in the world for free through ChatGPT. So we can use ChatGPT to help us with copywriting. And again, if you are in the Value Pricing Academy or the Bookkeepers Pricing Academy, in November, I am doing a 90-minute session where I'm going to walk you through a full 7-step process and all the prompts you need to write your copy. But what I'm going to do now is go through it very quickly and show you a couple of the steps. So when it comes to copywriting, the 7 steps that you can go through is you want to first of all identify, well, what are the features of what you do? What are the features? And we need to identify that first. But people don't buy features, they buy benefits. So in step 2, once we know what the features are, we can get ChatGPT to help us create the benefits. Then what we can do is we can help, in number 3, we can get ChatGPT to help identify and describe with the right words the most suitable target clients for your product or service. Then in number 4, we can start to write the content, the copy, using one of the proven marketing formulas, like AIDA, for example. And then what we can do is make it even better still by using the right style of writing. And one of the interesting things here is you can either use your own style of writing and you can train up ChatGPT in your style of writing. And I know there's a question coming about that we'll come to soon. But the other thing is we can get ChatGPT to write in the style of one of the world's greatest copywriters. Either living or dead. There are so many great copywriters, and so we can get our copy written as if it was being written by one of those copywriters that would normally charge you 6 figures for writing your copy. And then in step 6, we can get it to create our persuasive call to action. And then finally, the most important part of copy is the headline. Without a great headline, nobody will read your email or your blog post or your social post. Headlines are the most important. And you always do that last because ChatGPT now has learned so much about what you're trying to do that then it'll be better at creating great headlines. So let me just give you an example of how you might do that. If I go across to ChatGPT, I'm using ChatGPT Plus and I'm using a plugin. I'm using the Web Pilot plugin for this. There are plugins that can access the internet, and I decided to create some copy for our pricing software, Effective Pricing. Many of you use Effective Pricing to get better prices. So I've put as the prompt, read this link, which is the link to our sales page, the website for Effective Pricing, and make a list of all the features of this product. Include all the information that might be interesting to potential buyers. And so what it's done is in seconds, it went away, it went to that website, looked at every page of our Effective Pricing website, and it then summarized the features, all the things that it could see from the website. But people don't buy features, they buy benefits. So now we know that ChatGPT understands what the software does. So our next question is, if I just scroll down a bit, as an experienced copywriter with a focus on communicating results, please demonstrate your skill by transforming the given list of features into a comprehensive and precise list of benefits. My target audience is the owners of accounting and bookkeeping firms. So what it's now doing is it's taking all that knowledge it's gained from the website and it's now converting that into benefits. And this is brilliant. So for example, with no more guesswork, our software's price and confidence feature eliminates the uncertainty in pricing, allowing you to offer fixed, value-based prices that resonate with your clients. I love that wording. That's a great benefit of the software. Boost your revenue, maximize profit margins, leverage cutting-edge price psychology to not just show the value, but make your prices feel like a bargain, driving up your average deal size. Great wording. I'm tempted to use that on the website. Ready-to-use models. With pre-built pricing models for essential services like bookkeeping and tax returns, you can hit the ground running, no setup headaches. Transparent billing. The specified payment terms feature lets you outline clear payment schedules, building trust and reducing client churn. Go global with ease. Language barrier, no barrier. Whether you're in London or Lima, our software adapts to your language, making it a truly global solution. And so on. And it's just got some, in seconds it created for me, I did this earlier today, it created some great benefit-driven language that we can now use. We might change our website to use some of this. And so then, and once I did that, it now understands the features of the software. It understands the benefits now. I then went on to ask it to come up and identify the target client market. I then went through here with just a few simple prompts, started to now create the content. I started to create the content I tried some different styles of writing like the famous Joseph Sugarman. And there is some fantastic copy here that we could be used for emails, to put on the website, for blog posts, and so on, just with a simple 7-step process and a series of prompts that we can use. I did this earlier for our effective pricing software. I was blown away with the quality of the writing it come up with. Now, I have to say that I had also used custom instructions, so it does know my style of writing, something we'll perhaps talk about on another session. But let's move on to number 7, and let me bring Emily back as well. So we can optimize all of our marketing through better words, or as we call it in marketing, copywriting, writing right words, and ChatGPT is brilliant at that. Number 7, the final way that we can optimize and improve all of our marketing is through SEO, search engine optimization. And so for the next 4 or 5 minutes, let's just share with you a couple of ways that you could do that. Because again, ChatGPT, even if you're not an SEO expert, and I absolutely am not, Emily's probably better than I am, of all the areas of marketing, SEO I've always struggled with a little bit, but now it's so much easier, particularly if you use some of the plugins. So I think we're both going to show you a couple of plugins. I'll start with you, Emily, if you've got a couple of minutes to go through what you've been looking at.
Yeah, so one of the plugins that I found, which was, it seemed pretty good. Let me just switch up to my screen share again. It's called SERPstat. So let me see if I can bring the image up. I don't think I can show you the image, but it's on this. There we go. That's what it's called, SERPstat. And first thing I did was actually just ask ChatGPT to explain how I can use the plugin, and get a bit of information of the types of things that it can do. That's always something that I do when I'm using a new plugin. And then I just asked it to find me, so can you find me related keywords for value pricing in the UK targeted towards an accounting and bookkeeping audience? So with SEO, you're looking for keywords that you can incorporate them into your copy, but then also things like your headlines particularly. And you want it to, there are lots of different criteria to consider. And if you don't know about SEO, then it might be something that you need to do a bit of research on, but it's brought up some related keywords here in bold. So to value pricing, we've got value-based pricing, pricing based on value, pricing value-based. So they're all kind of just different iterations of that same phrase, but the search features have different qualities and different levels of competitiveness. So we've got here cost per click. So that is how much it costs to get somebody to click on that particular term. And then you've got the competition, which I'm assuming here is out of 10. So different SEO tools kind of have slightly different ways of doing this. But you want your competition to be fairly low so that you're not competing against other people using the same term. The difficulty as well is how difficult it is to get that term to rank. And then also the search volume is how many people are searching for that particular term per month. So you can kind of look at all of these different figures, look at all the different keywords that it's brought for you, and you can test them out yourself. You can go through lots of different iterations, try if you're doing ads or something, if you've got a headline that you're working on, try lots of different ones and test them against each other. But here it's giving you a bit of an overview. So that's a great tool that you can use. And I think Mark has got more to show you. So I'll pass back over to him.
Yeah, I've got a couple I want to show you very quickly. So that's great, Emily. Emily's showed a tool that we can use to help us come up with keywords, which I've always struggled with. So once we have some keywords, if I go back across to my ChatGPT for a second, let me just close that. So another tool that I've used been playing with is SEO. And what my prompt was hit, because I want to improve, if you want to improve your blog post, for example, I've got a blog post and I said, here is my blog post link. And I put a link to the blog post in. Here is my keyword. So I then chose my keyword, pricing strategies for accountants. I said, using the SEO plugin, show me how I can improve this article and the mistakes that I have made. And it then came along and said SEO analysis and recommendations for your blog post. It said that the robots.txt file is not found, and it's given a recommendation. If you don't know what that is, then don't worry. You could always ask ChatGPT. And we will be doing some training on SEO next year to Academy members. It says that the URL is not properly formatted, so double check that. It says the load time is excellent load time, no action needed. So that's really good. So it's gone through and it's taken that blog post and it's looked at the status of various things. There's no H1 to H5 tags found, and it's given recommendations. So that's another great plugin that we're really liking. And then the other one that I wanted to, the final one I wanted to share with you is one called Brainwork plugin. And just like Emily, one of the things I always do with a new plugin is I ask ChatGPT to tell me what does the what does the plugin do, and how can we maximize the use of it? Because they don't come with a user manual. Doesn't matter. ChatGPT can be your user manual. So then what I did with the Brainwork one is I took that same blog post and I said, I want to create an SEO strategy to improve ranking of this blog post using the Brainwork plugin, extract SEO information from this blog. And within seconds, it came up and it told me about, yes, there's internal links present. There's outbound links present. The word count's sufficient. It says there's some things that are missing. And then it's come up with a recommended SEO strategy for that particular blog post to do, for example, to include the keywords, pricing strategies for accountants in the meta description, and so on and so forth. Lots of great advice there of things that we could perhaps do to improve the SEO of that blog post. So one of the things my team is going to be doing next week is going through and doing that with the blog post and improving it even further still. Okay, let's bring Emily back. Actually, before that, Emily, we've got so that's our 7 things, our 7 areas. I know we've gone through quick because there's a lot of stuff we could talk about in marketing. We've done marketing in about 45, 50 minutes with some examples there. I'm hoping that's inspired you to start using ChatGPT more for marketing. And what we're going to do next, Emily, is we'll answer a couple of questions. I can see 2 at the moment, so that should be quite easy for us to deal with those 2 questions. But if anybody else has a question, put them in now. Before the questions, though, before we go into questions, let me just quickly remind you, and if you've got your smartphone to hand, you might want to grab a QR code, we are running the Value Pricing Conference, Value 2023, in just 2 weeks' time, October the 3rd to the 5th. And so you can either grab that QR code with your smartphone, or I think Sarah might post again, or it's in the chat somewhere. You will find the link to go to and the coupon code. We're going to be doing 3 days of training online about value pricing, and you can get 75% off your ticket. It's just $35 for 3 days of training. If you're in the academy, by the way, don't buy a ticket. If you're in the Value Pricing Academy or the Bookkeepers Pricing Academy, you can come along for free as our guest if you're an academy member. So come and join us there. And I think Emily will be doing a session on a bit more on ChatGPT in one of her marketing sessions. So I'll be teaching value pricing for 3 days, but we also have to get some guest speakers, and Emily's going to be doing some breakout sessions on marketing with a little bit of ChatGPT as well. And remember, if you want the ebook as well, if you want our ebook on ChatGPT, if you haven't got that yet, I think someone said earlier there was a problem with I think it was Jan, said there may be a problem with getting the ebook. So Jan, I don't know if Sarah's answered you, but we'll check that out. We'll just check the link is working in the next 24 hours on that ebook. I know we've made some changes to it. Okay, let's bring Emily back. Okay, and I don't know if you saw that comment, Emily, about the ebook, but we'll try and get that fixed. So I think there's a 3rd question coming as far as I can see. Let's start. I think Lynn is the first question that came in. And Lynn says, can you update or change your writing style parameters at any time? Yes and no, Lynn. I think you were referring to custom instructions. So we love custom instructions. The only problem is you only have one set of custom instructions. So if you want to change your writing style, then you would have to change the custom instructions. Yes, you can change custom instructions. So what you might want to do is make sure that your custom instructions are documented somewhere so you can cut and paste them in. And then if you create an alternative set, then you could then delete the first set and copy and paste the second set in and change it. So just make sure what I've done is I've written my custom instructions out in a document first, so I will never lose them. So yes, you can change them, and you can also turn them on and off. Or alternatively, you can set up a different set of writing style within the chat itself. I don't know if you want to add to that, Emily, or move on to the next question.
Yeah, the only thing I do differently is I keep them in I keep all the different styles that I like in notes or in a different app, and I just start them in a new conversation rather than using the custom instructions all the time.
Yeah. Okay, we have 5 minutes. I think we have 3 more questions, as far as I can see now. I don't know who this person is. They're on LinkedIn, so I don't know the name. But they say, do you recommend ChatGPT 3 or ChatGPT 4? You give me your thoughts, Emily, and I might chip in with mine as well.
Yeah, so GPT-3 or 3.5 now it is the free version, and then GPT-4 you only get with the paid version. So we do always recommend that you upgrade to the paid version because it's $20 plus tax per month, which is absolutely nothing for what you're getting. And with the paid for version, you get GPT-4 and the all the new features like plugins and the advanced data analysis and all of that sort of stuff. The difference between the two actual models, I'd say 3.5 is quicker, but 4 is a bit more educated. It's had more training. It'll give you a little bit of a higher quality answer. So, but you do have a limit on the amount of messages you can use GPT-4 with. So I think it's 50 every 3 hours. So I kind of use number 3 for just quick things that I want to get answers for. And then once I've got my prompt that I'm happy with, I will then go and use GPT-4 to get a slightly better answer if I feel like I need it. So you can use GPT-3 for the quick stuff and 4 for the stuff that you want higher quality for. That's kind of how I would say to do it.
Absolutely, yes. But I would also say that with the free version 3.5, you can still do some amazing stuff. And I was doing a webinar yesterday showing some of the things you can do with 3.5, and it is extraordinary how good it is. But I would still echo what Emily says. I would recommend upgrading just because the quality of the outputs with 4 is even better still. And the plugins are just extraordinary. So there are so many great plugins there. I mean, we always say, think of it as if you can cast your mind back 12 or 13 years when they launched the iPhone was great, but when Apple launched the App Store, that took it to a whole new level. And I'm guessing that when you use your iPhone or your smartphone, I bet most of the time you use it is using an app. And this is exactly the same. The plugins just take things to a new level entirely. Okay, Linda says, Mark, what was the SEO plugin you used before Brainwork? Okay, interesting you said that question because there was a point that I wanted to make if there was time, and there wasn't. So it was called, the plugin was called SEO. It's as simple as that, just SEO. But you might find if you haven't got it, you can't get it at the moment. So you may have noticed on my screen that there was a little unverified next to used SEO. And that's because it's the plugins are third party. And what we found is that from time to time, I guess quality control, they've taken them out of the store. But I think what happens is if you've already got them, you can carry on using them. They just say unverified. So one of my first favorite plugins I used was Link Reader. I think it was, Emily. And about a few weeks after Link Reader came out, which is great for accessing the internet, that then said unverified, but I could still use it, but nobody else could get that. And then a few weeks later, I then got a message saying that it's been improved and I should use the new version of Link Reader. So Linda, I used SEO. You probably won't find SEO if you haven't got it because it's unverified at the moment. It will probably come back again soon. It'll probably come back and it will have fixed whatever it needs to fix to get verified again. Is that right, what I've said, Emily, unless you know anything further about the verification process?
Yeah, no, I'm not sure about the verification process. I think there's lots of different SEO ones available, so you might like to try some different ones as well, but these are the ones that we've tested and we think that they work pretty well, so you can go for those ones.
Awesome. Okay, we have We have just 1 minute left, so I think we've only got one more question as far as I can see, but I think it was a question for Sarah, so possibly doesn't need me answering. Someone just said, how do I check if I'm an Academy member? Well, you'll know if you're an Academy member because you will get our emails every Monday. Every Monday at 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, an email comes into your inbox telling you about all the Academy members sessions taking place this week and next week. So if you get those emails on a Monday, you're an Academy member. And if you're not getting the emails, you're probably not a member. Anyway, if you want to check, you can always reach out to Sarah. Right, I make it bang on time, Emily. So, yeah, have you got any final comments before we go?
Yeah, just that was the very quickest overview ever. And obviously we go into a lot more detail on this sort of stuff in both the ChatGPT course that we have and also in the Academy as well. But yeah, hopefully it's given a good insight into different ways that you can use it at the least.
Yes. Yesterday we did a 3-hour webinar, and even then we ran out of time for the content. There is so much stuff ChatGPT can do. It's absolutely extraordinary. On that issue of SEO, by the way, my final closing comment is we are currently internally researching a lot of SEO tools. So if, Linda, you like that SEO one, but you can't get access to it, there are other SEO tools, and at some point we will be doing a session on SEO and the different tools available. Somebody says, how do I become a member? The best thing, if you want to become a member of the Value Pricing Academy, come along to the Value Conference in 2 weeks' time, because at the moment, Value Pricing Academy is closed. You can't join it today, but we are opening up enrollment to the Academy during the course of the Value Conference. So if you want to find out more about the Value Pricing Academy, then come along to the Value 2023 conference in 2 weeks' time. Emily, thank you so much. Thank you for all your insights and some great stuff that you showed as well around marketing. And I'm going to play out with some music, gives Emily and I a chance just to read the comments that are coming through. Thank you so much for coming along. And I don't think I'm doing a live session next week because the week after we have the Value Conference. So hopefully I will see you on Value 2023 in 2 weeks' time. Bye for now.
I wasted all my time, I wasted all my nights, I wasted it on someone who's indifferent. He didn't love me right, he told me I was blind, but I never really wanted to listen.